Obviously, a lot of questions around redshirting guys. Who is being redshirted, and I guess what the red shirts are they technically getting?
Well, as of right now, from last year's team, probably Joseph Smith is going to redshirt. I say probably. I've put people in a red shirt and sometimes don't keep them there. So, I do believe we're in a great position to redshirt all of our freshmen that we signed. So, Dayton Fix obviously will redshirt. I don't see any reason why he'll come out. We have pretty good depth there. If we have an injury, we're in pretty good shape. I think at 57, you're going to see Johns Blaylock and White Sheets probably compete throughout the year at 57. So Joseph may be in a good position to be able to redshirt all year. So I think it's something that we probably need to do right now. I look at the field of teams, and if you're going to redshirt a group that you can afford to redshirt, this is a good year to do it.
I know projected to have Weigel also wasn't in the projected lineup from your office. Is that still the case, or is he? What's the word on?
Well, Weigel had a preseason injury that we're just kind of managing right now. We're not going to see him probably in the month of November. Again, he's not a kid that can redshirt. I mean, he's in his junior season, and just needs to heal up before we put him back on the mat. But sometime during the year, we're going to see him. It's kind of put us in a little bit of a position to where we're a little bit thin at top, So Andrew Marsden, who started for us as a true freshman, redshirted last year, will wrestle at 97, and we'll go with Keegan Moore at 84. Both of them are 84-pounders, but making the adjustment is something we're going to have to do right now.
Do you think Marsden will be able to make the weight cut when Weigel does come back?
He's going to have to, yeah. So, and both Marsden and Keegan Moore being a freshman, just needs some time. They need some time on the mat, and I think that we'll end up with a good 84-pounder.
You mentioned you felt like it was a good year to redshirt those guys. What did you see out of the field to make you feel that way?
Well, I just, I look at where we're at so much, and it's a good team. We'll have a pretty competitive team. I'm not sure that we really drop off any. Maybe a little bit, but it also gives a couple of guys some experience that wouldn't get it. Mm-hmm. And so in the future, guys like White Sheets and Johnson Blaylock, who's a junior, and White Sheets being a freshman, it gives him an opportunity to get a season in and have a year with a full season under him. If one of them goes up, they got a year under him. It makes us a little bit stronger in the future. So I'm really doing it for strengthening our team and give us more depth in the future.
Where is Wyatt with his wrestling right now? How's he doing from a technical and performance standpoint?
Well, he missed half the season last year, and that didn't help him, So for that reason, I'd say he's probably not where he needs to be. I think he's a competitive kid, obviously, but in the end, I think I just need to get him matches, and as he gets matches, he's going to get better for us because he's competitive. He wants to win. He wants to be good. And when you have that, he loves to wrestle. And when you have that, you're going to get better.
I know the stock answer would be every place, but when you look at a wrestling lineup, there are certain places where you expect to be dominant, you expect to score bonus points, even on a night where the team's sluggish. Where are your strongest? Where are the pressure points for your team as far as putting pressure on the other side?
Well, I mean, we're going to be strong in those first 5 weights, so that's just the way it is. We have an All-American at 25, 33, 41, 149. First 3 weights, and then at 49, I think that we're not dropping off a whole lot. I think we have have Gio Martinez, who's a transfer, an All-American for us, for Boise, and transferred here. I think we have Tristan Moran, who's very competitive at the weight. I think Boo Llewellyn, who's will not be competing until second semester. I think we're going to be strong at that weight, you know. So those first 4 weights are strong. Then you got Chandler Rogers, who we've all seen, that's very explosive and powerful and can do a lot of damage, fun to watch wrestle. And then those 3 weights, 74 with Jacobe Smith, 84 and 97. Those are weight classes as we go along. We need to be competitive. We need to be good. We need to see guys. You know, right now none of them are ranked in the top 15 probably. You know, well, where does that put you in our schedule? It doesn't put you in a very good position. You know, heavyweight is going to be determined as we go through the next couple months, but. For now, there's just some uncertainties at some of those weights right now as far as what they're capable of doing because they haven't done anything.
Jacobe, JUCO All-American or JUCO champion, had some success in the open field last year. What is it with him? What do you need to see improvements on him to where you feel a little more comfortable with him at that weight?
Well, it's the toughest weight in the country. You know, it's 174. So you have a new guy coming into the lineup at the toughest weight in the country, and I'm not talking about 8 deep. I'm talking maybe 25, 30 deep. So either you get better quickly, or it can be an ugly season for you. You know, so I will say this: that the effort is in place, the focus is in place. He's a fun kid to watch. He loves to wrestle. He loves to train, and that gives him a great chance. As I've said earlier, you know. Gives you a great chance to get better because people want to help you when you love to wrestle and you love to train.
With Joe, obviously he's had injury problems, cutting weight and everything. How beneficial do you think redshirting for him will be this year, being able to control both of those?
Oh, I think it's important. I think it gives him a year to develop. You know, redshirt year can go either way for you. Depending on his what he does, he can stay in redshirt, you know, or I'll bring him out. It just kind of depends on if he continues to develop. I mean, he's got to stay focused, and if he doesn't stay focused, then he's coming out. So, but he needs to utilize the year to mature a little bit. As we've had him injured in both years, give him a chance to kind of heal up completely and manage his weight as you don't have to make it every week, you know, so that makes it a little bit easier for him.
Here we are almost 10 minutes into the interview and no one's even brought up your returning 2-time champion. What have you seen from him coming into his final year?
Well, he's taken real leadership, you know, as we needed it with this team. He's done some things that, you know, I haven't had senior leadership like this before. And I think the one thing that, you know, that's nice about Dean is he wants to have a successful team. You know, he wants to have, he knows he's trying to do something that only a handful of athletes have done in wrestling, is win national championship 3 times. And it pretty much locks you into the National Wrestling Hall of Fame as a member, you know, in the future, you know. You may be 50 or 60 years old, but it's pretty much a cinch for that. So a lot of things are riding on a young guy like that, you know, and he knows what he wants, you know. I really have seen him even improve his level of intensity in the room, and I just want to see him separate those scores this year. That's a dominant thing for him to do. And he's got some guys out there that are chasing 3 titles as well from Penn State with Rutherford. And if you want to be recognized as one of the outstanding wrestlers of the nation, then that's something you're going to have to do.
You mentioned the increased intensity in the room, but what are other things that an individual wrestler can do to kind of improve the cohesiveness and the unity of a team? when only one
Well,
one
you
guy's
know,
out there?
I think, you know, one thing is, you know, people love to be around people that work hard, you know, and when you bring that attitude in the room, it creates an atmosphere that we work hard, we train hard, you know, and I think the thing might be missing a little bit in athletics, it seems like a little bit, is the love for the sport, you know, people, and I feel like that, you know, we have several of those guys right now, and that's a good thing, you know, that they love what they do, they love wrestling, you know, they don't dread it every day, they look forward to coming in, they're not worried about their weight, they're going to make weight. It's, you know, they love the discipline of making weight. They love the discipline of practice and the hard work, you know. So you get several of those guys together, and it creates a pretty good environment for you to be able to improve from.
Piccinini was one of those guys who kind of exploded on the scene for you guys last year, finishing top 4. How have you seen him kind of respond this year and prepare for no longer being under the radar?
You know, I saw a little statistic today on 4 or 5 picks for who's going to be the national champion at 125, and he wasn't one of them. So that tells you that a lot of guys are back at that weight. He's pretty good. What did he take last year? 5th?
I think it's 4th.
4th.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and you know, he wasn't one of them. You know, so that tells you that the weight class is still strong, very strong, and that should fire him up a little bit. I'm going to show him I'm going to show him that little statistic. He wasn't one of them, so he's he'll be ready. You know, he's everything you want in a coach. Or as a coach, you know, the things I talked about, just loving everything he's doing, and you know, life's pretty simple as a coach, Nick. I'll just say that.
On the coaching side of things, how natural was it to promote Chris when you had a defection there in the rankings?
Perry?
Yeah.
Well, I think he's deserved his chance and his opportunity. You know, he passed up a lot of jobs that were paying about 5 times what I was giving him. And I think when you see kids make those sacrifices, you know, it bonds you together. Like, there's going to be a day you're going to take care of them, you know. Making those sacrifices to stay here means a lot to you, you know. So when the opportunity came, there was no question that although he's my nephew, he earned the spot, and he has a good relationship with the student athletes, and he connects with them really well. And I think we all, in coaching, we're all looking for that in our assistant coaches.
I know last year he told me that he wanted to be the next head coach at OSU. Are you ready to relinquish that anytime soon?
Well, if you'd asked me that probably last Tuesday, I probably said yes. You know, just goes day to day. It wasn't a great day. No.
Are you asking for a new judge machine too? Did you hear that story?
No.
Okay.
No. So, yeah, he's a ways from that. You know, this is a challenging job, and stay focused on what he's doing right now and continue to learn.
Can you comment on the schedule and an oddity, at least one? I mean, I can't remember. I went to school here.
Yeah.
Only one Bedlam duel in a season.
Well, you know, it wasn't our choice. This season's schedule's a tough schedule. I think we've had some traditional teams that we've had on, like Minnesota, who's a lot better, ranked in the top 5 or 6 right now. Good team. One Bedlam. That wasn't my choice. They told me it would not last. So OU chose to only wrestle us one time, and that'll be at home. But as far as I'm concerned, you know, this will be a 1-year situation, so we'll find out. The schedule's loaded with teams, you know. The little bit of the twist to it is Italy, you know. I've been getting a call from the base, Air Force Base over in Italy for years about trying to put a dual meet together, and just never really took it serious, and just decided it was a good time to do something like it, you know. it's a good opportunity for us. We've seen football, we've seen basketball, we've seen other sports that have traveled overseas and done some of the. This is the first actual time wrestling's ever traveled. Any team in the nation has ever traveled overseas to wrestle. So it's a great opportunity for our team in North Carolina State to wrestle in front of an exciting group of servicemen that are looking, and women that are looking forward to seeing a great match.
Obviously, you've done a lot of international travels, but how excited are some of those guys who've never even maybe
Well,
left the state?
Yeah, like most of us. I mean, most people, you know, that this maybe some of them's the only time they'll leave the U.S. So it's nice to have the opportunity to be able to, you know, take a group over and wrestle overseas. So yeah, it's going to be a good event. You know, when you're in some of these special events, you know, you need to win them. You know, so we've been in a few of them in the last several years and coming out on the other end of it. So I'm ready to win one of them, trust me.
With you guys going to Italy and then a couple of years ago having, you know, a record-breaking duel in Kinnick Stadium in Iowa, do you how much pride do you take in, you know, being part of those kind of groundbreaking?
We're part of it. We're excited about it. I mean, OSU Wrestling's been in the middle of those events, you know, and you know, you just feel fortunate, you know, that you get to take part in events like that. Of course, last year at the National Duels and setting a record here. So, you know, we should be involved in them, you know. When you're not involved, it means you're not any good and nobody wants you. So hopefully we can stay on that good side and continue to take part in some of these special events.
We good?
Good. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Coach.